Alright, Lens, this is my chance. I'm gonna prove that my Triple H is stronger than yours. Yes, bust the wolf! Wait, what? Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, okay, I can still take this drive impact, I guess. We've been playing Street Fighter 6 ever since the beta, and ever since then the game had pretty much a very defined meta. Typically you will force the issue either via a raw drive rush or a drive rush cancel. Then you get to hit the opponent, land a combo that will carry them to the corner, and once you're there you abuse throw loops or shimmies to get the KO. And that is Street Fighter 6 for the most part. But what if I told you that the game does have an answer, an option in it, that's a very strong counter to everything I just described? Yeah, drive reversals. Drive reversals are done in Street Fighter 6 by using forward and the two heavies, pretty much like a drive impact if you're in block stun or if you are getting up from the ground. Drive reversals, they are trash. Yeah, I mean, that's what the community pretty much think of it. So today we're gonna examine the drive reversal mechanic. Are they really that weak, that worthless garbage trash, or do they actually have some benefits to them? How can Capcom buff them? How can they make them better? And should Capcom make it better to begin with? Because this is a kind of a dangerous mechanic. So we're gonna talk all about this today. So to help me with all of this, I got the lovely Detective Manon. Give her a round of applause. Hey! We all love to see Detective Manon, because we're gonna get to the end of this. Drive reversals are Street Fighter 6's take on the Alpha counter. This is a mechanic that we had way back in the day during Street Fighter Alpha. We also seen it in more modern Capcom games. It was in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and it was also in Street Fighter 5 as they were called V reversals. And I do think V reversals were pretty cool because they were not all strikes. Some characters had really fast V reversals, others had escape ones, and our Mika could stone cold stunner people. I mean, that is as cool as it's gonna get. But drive reversals, they are more universal and they got some pretty cool properties. Unlike V reversals in Street Fighter 5, drive reversals are completely unthrowable, which is pretty cool. They are also armor breaker. In Street Fighter 5 you could armor through some of the V reversals. Here drive reversals or they will break armor. I feel like I'm gonna say reversals. Let's just say DR. I don't want to say drive reversals. DR, right? We're gonna keep it DR. DRs in Street Fighter 6, they will break armor, so you can drive impact through them. You can't really like Zangief heavy punch through them either. And offensively, they are a lot better than V reversals was, because V reversals typically didn't give characters Oki. Here, every character get a plus 23 knockdown, which actually is surprisingly good. See, for example, Ken is plus 20 after his forward throw, so he can do like some drive rush offense. It gets even better after a drive reversal because he's gonna be plus 23, so he can go for the meaty heavy punch. He can also bait reversals, so it sets up a pretty good situation. A character like Manon, for example, she can just forward dash after her drive reversals and she will be at a plus 2, so she can start to initiate a mix. Terry, after his DR, can burn Knuckle and he will immediately be at a plus frames. So offensively, DRs are actually fantastic. However, as you would expect, the main issue with DRs in Street Fighter 6 is that they're -6. And this creates two types of problems. The first one is that at -6 they are heavily punishable, and every character in the game can punish them. Some characters can get some insane damage if they landed the right hit. What do you guys think? They're convinced? I hope so. If you like the video but you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Over 70% of my viewers aren't, so you get to see more of me and my friends, the EX-Men. And yes, like in my canon, Magneto is I recruited him. Excuse the silliness and enjoy the rest of your video. And then if you can just, I'm almighty, and that's like 40% gone, bam, in an instant, because you wanted the opponent to get off of you. So you can imagine why this is bad. On the other hand, because they are only -6, this has now created a huge divide between characters. Some who are able to punish it with mediums into heavies, unscaled combos, and others who, thanks to the Street Fighter 6 Season 2 update, have to punish it with lights, meaning that they are getting scaled combos. And obviously this does affect how much damage you're doing to their drive gauge on that punish counter as well. This is a far cry from how safe they were in a game like Street Fighter 5. In a game like Street Fighter 5, V-reversal get blocked, you're -2, so you're not really getting punished. Yes, there were very specific cases like Akuma being able to punish with a demon, some characters were able to parry, sway, or armor through. You could get thrown, but typically Street Fighter 5 didn't have throw loops as the way we have them now in Street Fighter 6. So for the most part, the main downfall was that you lost your V gauge, so you're not really able to get your V trigger that easily, or maybe at all if the character were like a 3 bars V trigger character. But in a game like Street Fighter 6, yeah, it's brutal. And in a game like Street Fighter 6, you probably need it more, because in this game we have some easy ways to force the issue. The easiest way is crouching medium kick, drive rush into crouching jab, and this is a block string, so if you're trying to DP, your DP will not come out, and this pretty much forces a situation where you have to guess between a throw, and a lot of characters do get Oki or throw loops after their forward throws, or you will have to deal with a shimmy, which then will carry you to the corner. And drive reversals, DRs, we're gonna commit to the DRs because I am tired of saying reversals. DRs are good against drive rush cancels. The issue is you have to commit. You can't really react with the drive. You can't really react with the DR. If you try to DR early, you will get it. You will get a punish counter, and maybe then you will be able to even turn the tables on the opponent. However, if you reacted late, typically they will do the down back with the crouching jab, or even just hold back, and then they will block, and then you will explode, and you are in an awful situation. And this obviously does bring us to the question, should Capcom actually buff the art given how easy it is to force the situation, or are they fine the way they are? And if they decided to buff them, how can they do that? And it's a very delicate balance. Some will say make DRs -5 on block, which means that most characters will not get a medium punish. Some like Chun-Li will still get a medium. The issue is a character like Zangief now gets way better punishes than almost anyone else in the roster. It's something that you gotta keep in mind. People will complain about Zangief even more. And if you made DR -4 on block, this also is problematic. Yes, everyone will get a jab punish, and this will significantly reduce the risk, but this will also make it 0 in burnout, which means that now it pretty much will be impossible to initiate offense against opponents if you are in burnout. They will always just drive reversal, and that's it, and reset the neutral, and the characters that have drive in the neutral is in a much more favorable position. One thing that is important, there is a key to this puzzle that I feel like people may not realize, and that is the fact that unlike V-reversals, unlike alpha counters, these moves required meter. And yes, DRs also require meter. However, you didn't have the meter at the start of every round, at the start of every match in these games. In Street Fighter 5, you had to get hit to get your V gauge, and then you have to give up some of that gauge for the drive reversal. In a game like Street Fighter Alpha, you had to build your meter, you had to use your alpha counter from your super meter gauge. In Street Fighter 6, you have drive reversals from round start fight, which means that the game could turn and become extremely turtly. You also have to consider that Street Fighter 6 doesn't really have a way of having plus frames otherwise. Most characters don't have blossom block normals, or at least maybe one of them, or like a very slow one like Ryu Solar Plexus or a Bison Standing Heavy Punch. Meaning that the primary way of forcing the issue in this game is via drive rush, and if drive reversals became super good, then the game could end up being insanely turtly. Because the obvious buff to drive reversals is to make them faster, not necessarily safer, so that you are able to use it on reaction to drive rush cancels and be safe from that every single time. However, like I said, most characters don't have Blossom Block normals, and Drive Rush cancels and Drive Rush in general is the primary way that you get to have Blast Frame and really get to have offense in this game. Outside of that, we're just going rapid fire chains, which could get very stale very fast. So I don't know, like in all honesty, when you really think about it that way, drive reversals is probably the way they are very much intentionally by Capcom, because if they buff them just a little bit, they could make the game, they could really ruin the game. Like you have to be very careful of what you wish because you have them from the round start. This is a major difference between them and moves like V reversals and alpha counters from the past, which were defensively a lot better. Actually, funny enough that offensively DRs are a lot better than V reversals ever was. So like Street Fighter 6, it all comes down to the drive gauge, the fact that it is there from the start of the round, and that the game favors aggression pretty much. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Do you think Capcom should buff drive reversals? Are you scared that this might ruin the game? I would love to hear your thoughts about all of it in the comment section below. We'll be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.